Like and subscribe. Please get look.
Tomorrow? Tomorrow never comes. What kind of a fool do they take me for? Tomorrow. A resting place for bums. A trap set in the slums. But I know the score. I won't take no for an answer. I was born to be a dancer. Good evening, weirdos. Welcome to Total Recall. We're the show that remembers it for you. I am the Jethro Butt, and with me is my good friend, the Wizard. Hello, Wizard.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I was born to be a dancer.
You were born to be a dancer.
Guilty.
Fool. You got to bleed for the dancer.
Mhm.
Nobody got that, but
Yeah.
you did. So how was your week, Jethro Butt?
That's pretty good. I finally saw Nosferatu. I don't know why I've been putting it off for so long. As far as my conclusion on that goes, it's good. I enjoyed it, but I don't really think the world needed another iteration of this storyline. And
There's already 2 really awesome versions of this movie.
well, and also every Dracula movie, like this movie takes a lot of, what it's a lot of its imagery from, the first Nosferatu, but also Herzog's, and it also takes a lot from Coppola's as well. It's just kind of, it's less romantic. It's not quite as it's definitely not as over the top as Coppola's. It does stuff a little different, but when you get right down to it, you're starting to know this story like the back of your freaking hand. It doesn't need to be told again. Yeah.
I haven't seen it because I live in the forest.
And I saw Companion, and I was pretty underwhelmed with that. So don't recommend Companion. I happen to like the Nosferatu mustache, by the way. I think it was kind of a cool choice. Looks a little bit like, the what's his name? Vlad the Impaler guy, kind of has that look to it. Or the Mad Monk, Rasputin. Yeah. Something like that.
Rasputin.
Yeah. There's a remake. See, that's a story where not that, or the Brainiac, these stories are out there and they can be retold. They're timeless.
We haven't had a Rasputin movie in a long time.
No, it's been quite a while, No one's got a lock on that. So yeah. Okay. I won't argue with you, Jess. All right. Well, tonight we are remembering 1976's Bugsy Malone. This is a film I don't think I had ever heard of. Like, it seemed vaguely familiar, but really it was just never a part of my consciousness. So this is really my introduction to it. Didn't know anything about it. And didn't really know exactly what to expect. So definitely got some surprise. I'm reluctant to talk about it just yet. But 1976, like you're going to the movie theater at that time, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so this is on your radar.
I
What
saw
are you?
this.
You
I
saw it
don't
in the
even
theater?
really remember why, but
Uh-huh.
I definitely remember going to see it. Like at that point, the only person in it who you would have heard of was
Hmm.
Jodie Foster.
Right. But
Scott
this,
Baio was not quite a thing yet.
no, this got Scott Baio the Happy Days gig.
Some would say he
Um,
probably never should have been a thing, but that's a different discussion.
it's a journey, okay? We're talking about the start of his journey, all right? That's all we're going to talk about, by the way. We're just going to mention the start of Scott Baio's journey. We're not going to talk about the last 20 years, let's say. Okay. Um,
I want Charles in charge of me.
yeah. Interestingly enough, like this movie beat Taxi Driver to the theater, but it was filmed after Taxi Driver shot. Jodie Foster, 12-year-old Jodie Foster, goes directly from Taxi Driver to this film. There's like really no break for her at all. So,
But at this point, she's a seasoned pro.
yeah, I mean that is exactly what Green Behind the Ears director Alan Parker said about her. He said if
Yeah,
he ever
she
had to
was
call
telling
in
him
sick,
what to do.
yeah, he said if he ever had to call in sick, she could just sit in his chair for him. So hey Horatio, thank you so much for joining us. Hello to everybody watching along. Anyone in the chat, please feel free to give us a holler. We'd love talking to you guys. So yeah, this movie make a great double feature with Taxi Driver, back to back. You know, you could just basically say it's just the same universe. You know, why not?
Two sides of Jodie Foster.
Yeah. So going into this rewatch, what did you remember about good old Bugsy?
I remember liking it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I obviously didn't love it because I didn't watch it again, but I definitely remember liking it. I had fond memories,
Mm-hmm.
but rather vague. It had faded
Fond, vague
away.
memories. Well, that's what Total Recall specializes in.
Exactly. This was
Fond,
a perfect.
vague memories. Okay, excellent. Well, we're going to bring out the panelist who chose this one. I'm excited to pick his brain and hear about his childhood memories. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Adam Gray. Adam, how do you feel about whipped cream now?
Better than I feel about that hot dog staring at me.
Dude, that looks like a real hot dog.
It does.
Man, I don't know if that was good or not. Would you
I'll,
bite it? Would you eat that?
I'll tell you what I've really been looking at is that sharp Spatula City shirt that the Wizards has on. That's pretty
Spatula
nice.
City.
Yep. I like the spatula so much about the company.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shirt is awesome. Hello, guys.
Hello.
I hope my suggestion went over well, but I guess we'll find out in a moment.
Yes, we will. But what did you remember about this going into it? Like, what was your relationship like?
I don't think I saw it in the theater. My first real memory of it is being in kind of slow rotation on HBO. So by the time we got cable, which would have been about 83, 82, maybe. I do remember watching it more than once on cable, and same as the Wizard, it just faded away. I never went back and watched it again. I think at that time I would have been 12 or 13 and getting interested in not so kid things.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
It's that magical time. I'm getting a lot of complaints about the background, and like never let it be said that I'm not accommodating. So let's just go ahead.
Let's get a spatula and flick that wiener off.
Much
sorry
better.
About that. I'm sorry about that, guys. Won't happen again.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bit of a side step there.
So yeah, once again, vague recollection.
Very hazy. I mean, I remember the look of the film. I remember, the weapons in the film. I remember the cars
Mhm.
real well because I always wanted a pedal car and I never had one. So
Yeah.
that was like the coolest thing to see when I was a kid. So, but yeah, it just kind of faded away and was watching other stuff.
They came up a lot when researching this. Those cars were a big deal,
I thought so.
I mean,
Yeah.
they made the movie in several ways
Yeah.
because they weren't just pedal cars. They had recreated
Mhm.
this
Model Ts and Model A style.
Mhm.
this vintage look,
Yeah.
and
They're
like I
obviously
wanted
custom
a
made.
vintage pedal car like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're obviously custom made, so it's pretty cool. The art department is on fire in this movie.
Yeah.
On
Well,
fire.
so is the money, dude. They spent a lot to make those cars. They poured thousands of pounds of concrete into those interior sets. Everything exterior is interior so that they could work during the day and still have it look like night. Because you know what? Kids can't work at night.
Right.
Kids can't,
First
they're
thing I
not
said to
allowed to
Barbara,
work at night.
first thing I
So,
said to Barbara when we were watching it, I was like,
Mhm.
"This is not a backlot."
yeah,
You
it
could tell
absolutely is not.
immediately.
Yeah.
It feels real.
A lot of it's new build too.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the sets or some of the locations that they did were still like indoors, and it was like a closed biscuit factory
Mm-hmm.
and some other type of closed shop. So yeah, a lot of indoor shooting on this.
Hey
So
kids, when
Mhm.
Jethro Bot says biscuits, he means cookies.
He's from England. They say things funny
Well,
there.
they may not realize this movie was shot in England, though.
it was shot in England. It was shot in Pinewood Studios. This was Pinewood's largest stage at the time, not the largest stage that they have now, which I believe is still the largest stage on the planet,
The
period.
Bond stage.
The Bond stage, yes.
Yeah.
Stage 7, or often called Stage 007. We visited there when we watched Kroll. But
Yeah.
this one was probably just down the street. Well, speaking of Barbara, let's bring her right on out.
I love Barbara.
Yeah, everybody
Coincidentally,
does.
I love Adam too.
Oh,
Well, you guys
Aw.
are all awesome, but yeah,
Yeah.
I got a soft spot for my husband.
Listen, I will remove a hot dog for you. Okay.
Oh, well, thank
That-
you.
I will not.
Yeah,
That could go so many ways.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sideways.
no
probably.
comment.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Well, what do you remember about
nothing.
Bugsy Malone?
Nothing, because I've never seen this movie.
Did you
Um,
remember, like, did it just come and go? Like, no memory of it really as a
it
thing?
was like, I mean, I knew of its existence. I probably thought I had seen it. Watching it the other night was the first time I'd ever seen this movie in my entire life.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, it was charming, I thought, but we'll get into all of that. But yeah,
Mhm.
like I said, I kind of fell into this mini rabbit hole researching this film and was just kind of blown away by
It's all
by all of the details that were included for this film.
It's all over the place. And folks, you're going to be watching along with us, and it's important to know when you're watching these slides with us and you're watching along, the oldest cast members were 16 years old. I looked everywhere for descriptions of adult body doubles, and including interviews with the director himself, and I could not find instances where he stated that there were what you were seeing is not.
No, they committed. They totally committed.
Absolutely committed. And the only adult voices that you hear are the songs, and that's it.
Yep.
I think it's also worth mentioning, like, there were a small handful of actors
Mhm.
in this movie. Like, most of these are just random kids they pulled off the street, out of schools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They the production from start to finish took 2 years. Shooting took 12 weeks, but the production is 2 years, and a lot of that is casting. They casted on
It
in
took
the
like
US,
a year
yeah,
to cast this film,
US
to
and
completely
England,
cast it.
thousands of kids. Not 8,000, thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Although they
And-
had an easy time with Fat Sam.
Yeah, they found him pretty quick.
Yeah.
Went to a school and said, "Who's the worst kid here?"
Yeah.
And they all pointed to this kid.
They all pointed to Fat Sam.
Yeah,
You're
they all pointed to Fat Sam.
Since
Scott
right now
Baio,
it's just us old farts, so I did want to ask you guys because I don't remember anything about it at all. Fish. What do you remember of that show? Because that's the only other thing that Fat Sam has done. So I was just curious.
I've seen it.
What do you
I've
remember
seen
about
it.
Fish?
I've seen it, and I don't remember it.
I shouldn't say I loved it. I loved the character Fish.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
What is it? What is Fish?
It's Fish is one of the detectives from Barney Miller.
Yeah.
And he got a
Like,
little spin-off.
Yeah.
And he got a spin-off.
But
Hey,
he
And I
was
Dakota.
would say that the
Yeah.
premise
I know
was
who played him. Yeah.
that he was like fostering kids or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there was like a lot. I do remember that there were a lot of kids in that show.
yeah,
There's
he's a
like-
retired cop.
There's like
buster.
8 or
Yeah.
9 of them. 8 or 9 of them. Yeah. Which is the whole show, right? What's
Yeah.
Fish gonna do with all these crazy?
Kind of a Bad News Bears kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Cranky old man. Rambunctious
Funny you mentioned
old-
the Bad News Bears. That at this film, Bugsy Malone got saddled as a double feature with re-release of Bad News
Bad News
Bears.
Bears.
Yeah.
That had already been out for like weeks and weeks. Like nobody
Yeah.
cared about it anymore.
Yeah,
And
I think it had left and they put it back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
So Paramount didn't have a lot of faith in it, but
All right.
yeah, it was a lot. Scott Baio beat out 2,000 kids
Mhm,
to get that part.
mhm.
And he got it by basically throwing the script at Alan Parker and leaving the audition.
Yeah. He didn't.
So,
His story about it is pretty funny. He didn't want to do it.
yeah.
He saw the strain that he had acted in several commercials. He sees the strain that this is causing on his family. He knows that it's been frustrating and not really all that productive, which is pretty insightful, for like I think he was 15 at the time, 14 or 15.
He didn't want to keep driving into Manhattan for auditions. He'd rather go play with his friends.
Hang
Yeah, he
out
said
at the beach.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just a huge pain and a drain, and he was like, I give up, I'm not going to do it anymore. And he had already told his agent that, and then his agent found out about this project and was like, I think he'll be perfect for it. So he called him and said, do it. And so he gets there and they have him read for one part, and then he has him read for another part, and he's like, he doesn't want to do it. Now he's getting frustrated. He's reading for 2 different parts. And yeah, he like when the director says, he's like, are we done? And Sir Alan Parker is like,
I don't think he
yes.
was a sir yet.
He was
but
not a
yeah.
sir at the time. He was not a sir at the time. This is his first feature film, but yeah, he he's like, yes, we're done. And he throws his script on the table like, bam, I'm out of here. And like, that was it. That
They
was
cast
the
him on his way home.
last audition for that role, man. They found their guy. So
Yeah.
amazing stuff. Lots of fun little tidbits here. Let's bring out the rest of our panelists. So we've got 2 never saw it, 2 vague remembrances, and I think we're probably just going to get a lot more never saw it. But anyway, from Columbus, Ohio, the man, the
condiment.
It's just me.
just
I'd like to
man,
think
the
I'm
myth,
more than a
The
condiment.
gravy.
yeah.
I'm a coating.
Yeah, well, gravy. Yeah, you should.
And
You
the
should probably
lubricant.
You should probably go see Nosferatu. I do. like I said, like I wasn't expecting another retelling of that movie, but you know, it's good enough. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, I like Egger's other movies, and you
Yeah,
know, I like his
yeah.
visual style. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'll probably check it out.
and it is a shame he's agreed to do the Labyrinth sequel, but he
that nobody
like,
wants.
but he
Right,
he's
I'm with
he,
Adam on that one. Who
yeah.
asked?
Who asked? Well, and
Not
it's
me,
been in
thank you.
it's been in development with different directors tied to it throughout the years, but that made me hope that he wasn't going to do it, but he is going to do Werewolf first. So, you know, I guess like,
Ooh, a movie about a werewolf.
yeah.
There, Wolf.
I'm yeah. I've
Wow,
kind of given up
wow.
hope on because there have been a couple of werewolf movies that have been released recently, and none of them look like.
Released like urine into the river. Like it just
Yeah, it just isn't. It's like none of them look interesting. None of them look compelling.
No one's ever that excited about them.
I feel like
Yeah.
everybody is reaching for the ability to recreate, that epic universal monster moment in time, and it's just not happening.
the magic
Yeah.
is gone.
Well, it's an exciting time to be a horror fan because thanks to The Substance getting Academy Award nominations, Nosferatu earning an insane amount of money, I think you're going to start seeing studios try to find the intelligent horror movie that's going to get a chunk
I'm
of that
waiting.
big ass cash. So
Yeah, I still haven't
Um,
seen The Substance. I'd like to watch it, but I just knowing its nature, it's cool to see it doing so well and getting the accolades.
mhm, yeah, I mean it's unfortunate you didn't get to see it in the theater, because
Did you
know,
see?
did I? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I was joking about anal wrinkles, is because I remember this woman, her first movie, Revenge. I was like, okay, this is going to be, like a rape revenge movie with not the male gaze. Like there'll probably be some elements that you just don't get, because you don't get a lot of this genre directed by a woman. And actually, I was like shocked at how much male gaze was in it. I was like, God damn, this camera is like going straight up their butts. And then in The Substance, that really, really happens. It goes so up that thong that you actually see the anal wrinkles. And
Well, now I'm
you
interested.
know, like
Yeah,
if
no.
you,
Are
if
they
you miss
Demi
it-
Moore's anal wrinkles,
if
or
you, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and doubt that they're what's her name? MQ.
Demi Moore?
No, the younger-
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley. I doubt that they're actually Margaret Qualley. I heard that like some of Margaret Qualley's nudity was all latex suit, just as a way of like further proving the point of the film. It's much, much better than Revenge. I thought Revenge was kind of lousy, if I'm being honest. But anyway, Gravy, had you ever heard Bugsy Malone?
No,
No.
I'd heard of it. I like the name was familiar. Like
All right.
I'd heard that title, but I didn't know anything about it.
All right. Well, we're going to start bringing everybody else out because we're starting to get a little long in the tooth here. So, ladies and
You could
gentlemen,
say that again. God.
also, hey, I digress. I can't help it. So, Bugs of Pumpkinhead. Oh man, look at you!
Hi.
It's Fat Sam.
The Big
Hello,
Bopper.
Fat Sam.
Yeah, he was pretty great.
That kid was really into this, making this movie, man.
You could tell.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
could tell.
He
You
was
could tell.
having an
Yeah.
amazing time.
Yeah. Had
I
you
have a
ever
great
heard?
factoid about him for later.
Had you ever
Yeah,
heard?
me too. I wonder if
Oh,
it's
I
the
hope they're
same
not
one.
the same. It's probably the same one. I
Ladies-
had never seen this movie. I'd never heard of it. I had seen the cover at We Love
Okay.
Video. That's it.
Okay. All right. Let's move. Moving on. Let's bring out Jess. Jess, thank you so much for coming back.
Jess.
I love
Hello.
your avatar
Hi, Jess.
as well. Yeah. Had you ever heard of this movie? Do you know anything about it going in?
Oh boy, did I ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I was enamored by musicals growing up. And
Mhm.
then when I was in elementary school, my music teacher had us watch this movie. Um, and I loved it. I was like
Mhm.
totally enamored. I just thought it was so cool how the little kids looked like adults. Like little Jess
Mhm.
was like, that's so cool. Like their costumes are like adult clothes, but for children. And I just thought that was the coolest ever. And it definitely was a vehicle into me becoming a theater kid.
Wow. Wow. So influential.
Oh yeah. But I actually kind of forgot about it until this was
Uh-huh.
brought up a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh shit, I haven't really thought about that in a while.
So
This was
thinking
exciting.
when you first were thinking back on it, what did you remember about it? Like what was some of the stuff that was coming up? Anything specific that you were like, oh yeah, this movie will have this or
Now, I honestly, for how much I remember loving it, I don't
Mhm.
remember many details. I just really remember loving the costumes
Mhm.
and the dancing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to costumes, dancing, and everything else with Bugsy Malone, brought to you by the Rank Corporation organization, which is like the first time that logo appeared before a film was 1935. Those people made movies for a long, long time. They're a big deal in the UK for many decades.
And
I
Look
that's
at
such a
this
great
set.
opening.
Yeah.
That's such a great opening with the gong.
I kept
Yeah.
thinking of like Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
This set is amazing.
It's
gorgeous.
incredible. Like I said, they poured thousands of pounds of concrete to make this, and they had to make interior outdoor sets so that kids could be working at night. You know,
Mhm.
because it was illegal. It is illegal for kids to be working at night,
Even in
and
England.
even in
Mhm.
England, even in the mid 70s.
Yeah,
They
apparently the paperwork for this was just like
Oh, I can't imagine.
mountainous.
Yeah.
Because it didn't involve just, the United States actors,
Mhm.
the American actors. It involved all of England too, and
Yeah.
all of their requirements and stuff. A teacher had to be brought on full time to the set to keep classes going. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the headaches involved with having 100 kids on set.
It's the
Oh.
sort of thing, yeah, it's the sort of thing that you would only do for like your first movie, right? Like that's definitely just a first movie thing, you
It's
know.
like Spielberg saying, "No, I want to shoot it on the ocean."
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
So I don't know if there is a movie that claims introducing Jodie Foster, but I think technically speaking, this one beat the others to the theater.
No, actually,
No.
there was one more. There was a
Uh,
called Echoes of Summer. Because I looked this up because this was this was that rabbit hole of information that I fell down. In 1976, the same year that this movie came out, she was also in a movie called Echoes of Summer, which came out
Mhm.
first, Taxi Driver, The Little Girl That Lives Down the Lane, and Freaky Friday, all in
Whoa.
1 year.
Whoa.
jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just was, that kind of blew me away.
But
That's amazing.
but I remember seeing her in
And I do remember seeing Freaky Friday in the theaters.
Napoleon and Samantha.
No, this wasn't her first movie.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean that was a
Yeah.
feature that
Yeah,
it came out.
yeah. I mean, she's been in show business since she was a toddler. She was a Coppertone baby. She did commercials.
Holy shit. Coppertone baby.
Yeah. I love these sets.
Look
I
at
love them.
look at this set and like you know, they make sure to set up the idea that these kids are not drinking alcohol. You want to
No.
make sure you know that, but they stop reminding you pretty early on, you know, like they just start calling them drinks after about, you know, the first couple scenes with drinks in them. They
Yeah.
just start calling them drinks.
Now, by the way, we totally glossed over this. The opening song,
Paul Williams.
huge
Mhm.
reminder for me because I had totally forgot it was Paul Williams.
Yeah.
And right away, I'm sold.
Yeah.
You open a movie with Paul Williams, and you got me.
Yeah.
He was another guy that was kind of all over 1976, had his fingerprints all over 1976 because
Mhm.
he didn't just do the score for this film. He also won an Academy Award. I think this score was nominated, and then one of the songs was nominated for this film. But then he won the Oscar for Evergreen for A
Mhm.
Star Is Born.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know
So
he did Evergreen.
But
mhm.
my God, he was on every talk show.
Yeah.
He was on every game show. He was
Mhm.
on every
Yeah.
variety show.
Because
at
he was
that
Yeah, he
time.
was all over
He
the
was
map.
everywhere.
Yeah.
he was also in the last Planet of the Apes films, you know,
Mhm.
Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which also has John Huston.
Has anybody seen the Johnny Carson episode where he shows up in full makeup from that?
Yes.
From,
Yes.
and he sings a song. It's so great.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in a while, but yes. Okay, well,
Here's where
we're
the
gonna-
movie started to lose me.
yeah, this is where things are pretty much going awry, in my opinion. Because like I'm not down with these outfits on like 12-year-olds, and this is where I thought maybe that there were some adult stand-ins, you know, and then when they did close-ups, they had the kids.
I
But
think
no.
these are the 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are clearly.
Yeah, these are 16-year-old dance students and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
The only thing-
It
yeah.
just looks like
Uh,
dance uniforms.
yeah. The only thing I could,
Which is, I mean, a problem in itself and a much bigger like issue. But
yeah.
I was not prepared for. I felt like really sideswiped by that, by this scene.
Oh,
It's like, oh
That's
my
so
god.
funny because I like loved the costumes growing up, so I didn't even like
Uh-huh.
have that lens
I
this
th-
go around.
Yeah, I think that I
Interesting.
would have when I
Yeah,
was younger, and I think that like when you are like in that culture, like I took dance classes growing up,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
you know, like
Yeah, I was
wore
a
those
theater kid
costumes
too. I would have been wearing that kind of
and
stuff.
like and yeah, so I think it was like extremely normal and normalized, and it wasn't until, you know, I was like a super grown up adult or just much older, I'm not an adult, that I like really got into understanding how fucked up it was for us all to be dancing around in these extremely revealing outfits
Mhm.
in front of a bunch of adults every year for our recital. Or at least how fucked up that was for me. Like
Mhm.
I had no idea I had all these like just really visceral feelings about that. And so seeing that in this movie was just like, oh, there are the feelings. I
Mhm.
have them.
I actually had the opposite reaction. I spent this whole movie waiting for something that would be triggering,
Mhm.
and I actually thought they did a really good job. I mean,
Yeah, I did too. I mean, as I was also a theater kid, so I get it.
Mhm.
For me, there was no, you know, like Adam said, I kind of was waiting to see that sort of overly sexualized view of a child,
Mhm.
the way I felt when I watched Firestarter.
like Firestarter was.
But I honestly didn't feel that way. When it came down to the end of it, and I kept waiting for, you know, an icky feeling to sink in, I realized it wasn't there. And I realized it was because I felt like I was watching my nephew in a kid's version of Guys and Dolls, which he did do.
Yeah.
And so And that was the overall experience for me. That's how it made me feel. I felt like I was watching a kids perform an adult play.
Mhm.
I empathize with that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I found it a little disconcerting at times.
Mhm.
And Jodie Foster's like solo performance later on, I thought
Oh my
made
god,
me feel a little
That
worse,
one,
quite frankly. I didn't like the lyrics of the song. The context of the song I thought was way too
The lyrics did.
suggestive. Yeah,
Mhm.
suggestive for
that
you
was
know, a
the only
13-year-old
time
girl to
that,
be singing.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
only time I
Yeah.
felt a little, that's a
Yeah.
little,
Yeah. Like that
Personally,
unnecessary.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
just to get it out there. I don't really like any of the lip syncing stuff
no, that
anyway.
was
Oh my
really
I
god, it
think
was
I think it's
awful.
yeah, it's not
It's
It was
good.
terrible.
awful.
And
I will, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, part of that, one of the reasons why the lip syncing is so bad is because they're working on the movie while Paul Williams is working on the songs. So they would get the songs, they'd get a recording of the songs, and that's what they're lip syncing to. And when it's Jodie Foster, the female vocals for that don't sound anything like Jodie Foster.
Hmm.
No.
It's like
No.
radically different. And,
It all is every single
All of them.
song with every
Yeah.
single actor. It doesn't match
Yeah.
at all, and it's really strange. Yeah.
yeah,
See, I
and
loved that. I thought it was like
Oh,
more point kept reminding me that it made me feel like I was watching a kid's play. I'm like, this
Mhm.
is silly. They're acting like adults, and obviously they're not.
Yeah.
Right. I have to say though, chorus girl costumes aside, okay,
Mhm.
all of the costumes in this film are so great.
Oh, totally.
I love
Yeah,
them
the
so
costuming, the makeup, the set design, it's all fantastic. It's so
Yeah.
spot
yeah.
on.
No arguments.
Yeah.
No arguments there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Like,
Oh my
look at
gosh,
this
what a
little
great
bit.
question, Horatio.
That is an interesting question, because it seems
That is
like
a good question.
this seems like a film that one of those movies that ended up a different place than it meant to be when it started out, perhaps, or but it is weird, and
It's unhinged. I love it.
But for a little weird context, when we were still in Austin, we almost went to see this one Saturday morning when it played at the Draft House as part of Kids Club,
yes,
the
yeah,
thing that Kayla Cromer used to do.
uh-huh.
And it was a sold out show, and the kids came out happy as hell and loved
Mhm.
it because we were
Yeah,
there when they
yeah.
let out.
Mm.
And it went over well.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about before I forget, and we can even pause the movie to perhaps just digress if you guys want to. If we're getting
Done.
too ahead, but
Yeah.
but the guns that they shoot in this movie, and it's rated G, so that's how you know it's from the 70s. It's not going to be rated G in today's rating system. In fact, it's probably not going to get made at all.
No way.
And we can talk about many of the reasons why it would not get made, or at least not look like this. But when they're shooting the Tommy guns, what's coming out is supposed to be like whipped cream. It's called splurge. I wish they hadn't called it splurge.
Could have been worse.
It could have been, well, yes, but not much worse. They picked almost the worst thing they could pick.
The R is silent.
Oh God!
It's almost splooge.
But the thing that really got me about this is that as a mechanism of gore in a kids movie, it was like super effective because of two reasons. One, when it hits them, it splashes and they have like hits on their face and chest, and if they get shot a lot, they just get covered, and like as what is accepted as a violent replacement, it's actually pretty effective.
Yeah.
So as just whipped cream, it does kind of come across as gory, right? It is kind of gory.
But it's also
Um,
the classic pie fight.
Yeah.
But
and-
only one person dies from it.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say is that when it happens, that character then disappears for the film.
Mm-hmm.
They never say that he died. They never say what happened to him, except that they got him. They got him.
They say
And
they say he's all washed up.
He's all
or something like that. And that's
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
But that character's gone for the movie. And it's, so the effect of these two things together, I mean, again, this is not a PG rated movie. These children are getting shot to death in what is like would be a bloodbath, except it's a whipped cream bath instead. And then once that happens, their corpse disappears like they're in a video game, except that they don't regenerate elsewhere. They're just gone.
Yeah, they're no longer with us.
I really
after their facial.
And that's like, we could probably start the movie again. I might be done ranting, but
I think
as a movie which has a lot of shit in it, like that's a crazy right there.
I don't see these kids doing anything different than what we did on the playground and on summer vacation playing cops.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, there's nothing. No.
It's a fantasy for kids, and kids pretend to be gangsters and cowboys and Indians and stuff all the time. They always have. They always will. I think we're using a contemporary lens and picking out things that just weren't intended back then. I really do.
It
Really? I mean, well,
was
in any
way
case,
more
like,
problematic than this.
I just feel like that was like the effect for me. Like, as far as like not being able to do this nowadays, I just mean like the guns, period. Like they probably wouldn't have kids holding guns, but
they'd never do this now, even as innocently intended as this was. It'd never fly now.
I do recommend you see I Declare War, which is another film, and that was made about 15 years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, somewhere in that time period. But
have you seen Red Dawn?
I Declare War has a younger cast than Red Dawn, and their coup d'etats are delivered with a water balloon filled with red, like water. So it's a war movie. It's like capture the flag war movie. But of course it's kids and they're not actually shooting, you see their imagination guns. It's cool.
Really good.
Highly recommend it.
The guns themselves actually did not shoot whipped cream. They had tried it with a wax ball that was filled with whipped cream, and it actually hurt when people got fired upon.
Ow.
So they ended up firing ping pongs, and then with careful editing, made it look like whipped cream.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the first test of what was supposed to shoot shaving cream was tested out on a production manager who was like 6'2" and like really big, and like the biggest guy on the set. And they were like, let's shoot him with it to see how it works. They hit him right in the forehead.
Oh, this is my favorite part. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay.
No, that girl trying out for their audition, that's the best part of the movie.
Her terrible singing.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Love it.
We get to hear a kid sing. I like this bit too with the hands.
Yeah, the fake hands was always fun. Not fake, but the
right. Well, that guy had a red round mark on his forehead for 6 weeks. He was just walking around the set with that thing forever. So these are all tryouts. Fat Sam is tired of hearing about people wanting to try out, so he's just going to do it.
This girl was the weakest part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
I really did not
Yep.
like her.
Yeah.
And apparently she did not like making the movie
It
at
showed.
all.
It showed.
Yeah.
She
She
doesn't
did
look like
not-
she's having much fun.
Yeah, and
She
she
Not
didn't
as
like
much fun as her.
Scott
That
Oh my
girl was having
God.
fun. Yeah, that girl was having fun.
Yeah, she didn't
She,
like
uh,
Scott Baio. She didn't like Scott.
She didn't like Scott Baio, and this was her only film credit.
I don't
this,
like him either.
Wow.
She quit
I mean,
acting,
It,
and she
it
ended up
started
joining the Air
careers.
Force.
It ended careers.
Yeah.
Wow.
It turns out she had good taste.
She ended up joining the Air Force
Wow.
and was career Air Force.
Huh.
Oh, she was the one who
that's a
did
big
the
switch.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, yeah. When I was looking it up, I saw that one of these kids wound up with that. The kid, oddly enough, the kid who went, he did this and he did Fish, but that's it. He gave up acting after that.
well,
This poor kid.
There was some acting involved.
there was some
No cameras.
yeah.
Oh, what's this?
The kid that ended up playing Fat Sam. Go ahead, Pumpkinhead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, just
I don't know this.
Correct
Should
me
we?
if I'm
Should we
wrong.
pause here? Let's pause
No.
we'll just do a
so
little
the
pause here.
actor
Okay.
after Fish and maybe a couple of other things, he quit acting, he grew up, he started running a construction company, got really high up in that, and then in 2015 pled guilty to a bribery scheme and was sentenced to 2 to 6 years in prison
Yeah.
plus a $500,000 forfeiture.
Yeah, he was convicted of money laundering and bribery.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
actually
So,
was so good
Fat
at
Sam.
being bad.
Yeah, it's like a method actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I respect
The other real tragedy.
he was all washed up.
Yeah. The other tragedy about this was the kid that ends up playing Dandy Dan or Dandy Don or whatever his name is. He ended up taking his own life, unfortunately.
Oh
He
my gosh.
no.
just 20 days shy of his 33rd birthday.
My
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah. And this was also his only film credit.
He's like 9 years old or something like that in this.
And honestly, he carries weight. Okay, this
I thought
kid
Dandy
has
Dan was excellent,
gravitas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a kind of a Edward Norton vibe, is what I think
Yeah.
Adam and I landed on.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, when they introduce him like he's on the horse and stuff, I was cracking up, man. I thought that crap was hilarious.
Yeah.
And he
Like-
rocks that pencil thin mustache.
Totally.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We had a conversation about the mustaches.
Yeah. So getting back to the movie, they're pointing out that this guy kind of screwed up during the last operation where they were shooting people with their whipped cream guns, their splurge guns.
Mhm.
And so he's pointing out that he can no longer be in the outfit, and here it comes. And so I guess like in a world where there's splurge guns, those are like daggers, right? Or like or are they supposed
Bow
to
and
be like
arrow, maybe?
revolvers, or I don't but like whatever the connotation is, like they then just like splurge him in cold splurge and he disappears, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
And to
Well,
be
except for the
clear,
end. Except for the end.
at this point, Dandy Dan's group is the only one that has splooge guns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
They're new,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and everybody wants them, but
Mhm.
only Dandy Dan's got them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy guns would be the analogy.
Mhm. Yeah, they've been developing splooge, but they haven't been able to shoot it yet.
Splurge, Jeff.
Splurge.
We're the very best at being.
Please, God.
Oh,
You make
God.
fun of me for not getting.
There's a
mine,
huge
guys.
difference.
Unlike this movie, this show is not for kids.
Yeah, I can actually see kids having a great time watching this movie.
Yeah.
I did.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
did. I did.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
It's a great
time
fantasy
love.
world.
Mhm.
Oh, I think, and the kids are charming as all get out. I mean,
Mhm.
my favorite are, it's like I like the bit characters more than the leads. Like
Oh
the kids
yeah.
are just like in there for these
Yeah.
moments, and they nail that little character actor moment, and I
Mhm.
love that.
So except for
really
Fat
fun.
Sam. Fat Sam was
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah, and
Al-
so was Dandy Dan.
Yeah. Alan Parker talked about letting the kids improv, and so there was rewriting on the set. Yeah, these kids wrote their own lines sometimes
Oh, that's cool.
because
Kind
they
of
were
crazy.
yeah. Is there a thing?
They did seem like they were having fun,
yeah,
like
and his
the whole time.
I had fun watching it. I like, especially because I
Except
loved
for
like
Blousy
performing as a
Brown.
kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
this would
Yeah.
be so cool.
I did not like Blousy or Bugsy
yeah.
No.
See,
personally.
here's another cream bath. Like cream runs
Did
white in
not
the
call it a cream bath.
like
Oh, boy.
the splurge runs white in the streets.
Oh,
I think they called it the white Sunday.
You were just
I
digging a
missed
hole.
that. That's pretty.
Yeah, just digging a big old hole.
oh man.
Pumpkinhead, could you rein him in just like a
Someone-
little bit?
Someone else talk.
I have to say, Jodie Foster is riveting. I mean, oh my god,
Yeah.
she
She's incredible.
She's had like the same level of
incredible.
talent her whole life.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe
like-
she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's whipped.
Sorry.
No, I think it's Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
there's
she's
one
born
But
more
with
like
it.
Maybelline.
watching her next to like all these kids that are like being hams and having a great time, and then
Mhm.
she comes in and like legit acts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like a
It's
pro,
just like,
dude. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Especially
really
next to
amazing.
Blousy, who
Yeah.
was boring.
Thank you.
Yeah.
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 Actually, I found out that, like I said, when I fell into a weird little rabbit hole of this movie.
Mhm.
And for somebody who had never seen it, I couldn't stop looking up factoids about it.
Oh, awesome.
And the girl who was cast as Blousy, she actually had a much smaller part in the film. But the actress who had been cast as Blousy went through a huge growth spurt before the filming actually started, and
She's-
ended up being like a foot taller than Scott Baio. So
Mhm.
she was out, and this girl got brought up.
I don't think it's the
Aw.
height that is really problematic. I think
No.
Yeah.
its width in certain departments would have been problematic.
Yeah.
And Scott was like 5'2" at the time too. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh my god. Fat Sam's like very
The cardboard cutout.
not. Oh no, the cutouts were great. Anytime he speaks
I love that.
Italian, it's like it's great. He's terrible.
Mhm.
But it's wonderful to see him just like
He's
committing
just
to it.
over the top chewing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like can't help but absolutely beam when I'm watching him.
Yeah.
and he didn't have any inclination to be in theater. Like the director like asked at the school for the class clown.
hmm
The naughtiest
Well, he-
kid.
The
Yeah. The
naughtiest kid.
Naughtiest
kid.
kid.
Yeah.
I love
Oh my
this guy
God.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
the guy that
he's
answers the phone,
terrific.
the butler. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
My image of that moment in time of him saying, "Well, who is the naughtiest boy in the class?" You know,
Every
and,
finger
and
points
every
at him.
finger points to Fat Sam.
You're hired.
Yeah, that guy.
Mhm.
Ugh.
I don't like this
So-
scene.
I
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
this.
I don't really, like as
Yeah.
much as I like Jodie Foster, I don't really like much anything she's doing in this movie too much. And
I just don't have a problem with
her-
the lyrics.
yeah,
Yeah, the
Really?
lyrics
Yeah.
are really in bad taste.
yeah.
I don't
I
know
do.
what she learned in North Carolina, nor do I
Oh
want
my
to.
God. Yeah. Why? I feel
Yeah.
like this whole number can just be pulled and it would be fine.
Yeah,
And
I was,
why-
100%.
What
watching
goes
this
on?
with Laszlo, and we were both like, ugh.
I do like
Yeah.
those little hats,
Yes.
though.
Yes.
What goes on in North Carolina? Like what? And
Don't
yeah,
wanna
this
know.
North Carolina.
this outfit, the dancing, and then they bring these dancers out again. Oh, by the way, like it might attempt to find out more about these because sometimes you see shots of them and they look like really really young, and they're like ugh. But they like all I could find out is that they all came from Manchester and Leeds. That's it. So that's where tall young ladies come from.
Well, we needed Smilex on this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the costumes don't bother me too much. The lyrics to the song are
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not
Yeah.
the costumes. I think the makeup is amazing.
I just didn't like the song at all.
Yeah,
A lot
That
of the-
was my least
No.
favorite part of the whole movie.
a lot of the dancing
Yeah,
is very
agreed.
sloppy.
There
Very
were
sloppy. You
there
can
were
see-
several. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
I was just in almost every number you can see them out of sync
Mhm.
at some point or flubbing a step.
Yeah.
Yep.
And these are the best takes that we're watching. So either they were really rushed on choreography or these girls weren't dancers.
Again,
There's a
most of these kids were in no way.
Way to come down hard on those girls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought they were fine.
They're kids.
There's another scene, like a dance number with some of the guys, and you can you're watching them and you can see them counting the music and remembering the steps in their heads as they're dancing, which is fun for a second, but then I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
just
not-
to your
it's not very
point, Adam, I
polished.
think that we're not working with pros here necessarily.
No.
all the
Yeah,
time.
and I'm
They're
not judging them
kids.
as pros. I think my money is on that the choreography was rushed.
Mhm.
Probably.
Mhm,
I'll
mhm.
give
And
the
I
kids
still blame the kids. They should have all been fired.
Well, if you want to zoom
Good
out,
for nothing
all
brats.
kids
Fired.
fired.
The songs do at times have some pretty awkward lyrics, and
This is the scene that I was like, oh,
this is
wow.
another one.
Okay, yeah.
this is another one. Yeah. The director wrote he wrote all the songs for the movie, and then he actually sang the songs for the producers himself, and they were like, we need to get someone other than you to do this, so they hired Paul Williams right away, and Paul Williams just adapted all of it.
Yeah, great
So
lighting.
we're
Great
done
photography.
ranting.
Yeah.
I completely killed the conversation.
What are we talking about?
Well, what I was saying is that might be one of the reasons why the choreography and lip syncing is so off, is because they kind of had to rush these songs in.
That's what it
And,
looks like to
you know,
me. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not
and-
faulting the kids. I fault
Yeah,
kids
work
all
with
day
it.
long, but
Mhm.
here I'm not.
Yeah.
No,
This movie-
I agree.
yeah. This movie was a roller coaster of emotions for me, because I definitely did not want to see kids being exploited and dancing and I don't know, just wasn't that wild about that
Wow.
shit. However, I do not really like kids, and seeing them shoot one another with guns is
Pretty
that's
great.
that's a plus. Yeah, so I'm like, well,
Did
I'm
we
all
talk
for
about
it.
the pedal cars yet? There's a
Not
good
yet.
look at the pedal car. Yeah,
yeah, those
The
pedal
pedal
cars
cars are
fantastic.
amazing.
I love the pedal cars. I love
They-
pedal cars better than children.
Yeah, and it
100%.
sells the world to you. Like, what a clever device! Like,
And I have 4 children and no fucking pedal car.
Yeah.
if you had
The hell?
a pedal car, you wouldn't be allowed to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, apparently, the pedal cars, well, obviously they were custom made, right? But apparently they cost almost as much as a regular road ready Mini Cooper at the time.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
to build.
Probably
Wow.
operate better
And-
too.
Yeah,
they were-
they're probably more reliable.
Well,
Yeah,
they
is
were
it-
so heavy to operate that you could really only have like one or two people in the car at the pedal car at the same time. And in order to get it to move with extra people in the car, they had to like get stagehands behind the car and push it.
Mhm.
mhm.
Well, it really worked out.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, whatever they went through to get those going, it absolutely sells it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the cost was because they were using union carpenters or whatever on the movie set to make them, as opposed to just fabbing the job out.
Mhm.
Mhm. Well, I can assure you, Burb, that we could talk about the director of The Professional for a long, long time. Like,
I don't think we should do The Professional on this show.
That
No,
one just is creepy.
yeah, Luc Besson he's something else. I'm not
He's
advocating.
problematic.
I
He's
am not
French. That's the
advocating
problem.
him.
He's French.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
French.
advocating for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching a Louis Buñuel film last night, and 10 minutes in, I wanted to take a shower and go to bed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some people can do art and artists, some people can't.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not that obvious. Sometimes it is.
Sometimes you just
Yeah,
need time to separate it. Like I don't really think I could ever watch a Woody Allen film again.
No,
No.
I
because-
cannot.
I never
because-
will.
Yeah, they
because
suck anyway.
Yeah, they're
he's so-
terrible movies to begin with.
He's so inseparable, even when he's not in them, that I just don't think I could watch
I can't either. I can't watch Roman Polanski movies either.
Oh man, I love Chinatown. Sorry,
I know. It's
I
so
know.
hard.
I know.
Chinatown
I
is so
love Chinatown.
I can watch Chinatown. I mean, I'm not advocating this guy. I'm just saying, like, I can watch.
No,
that
I know, I
movie.
get it, but it's one of the ones that I can't. Yeah.
I get that too. Yeah,
Yep, understandable.
it's kind of I mean, that ending.
everybody has their own line, and that's fine.
See, more bar.
Mhm.
Pour me a double on the rocks. So that at this what I was talking about before, they've completely dropped the pretense that it's not alcoholic. Like
They're all,
just
Like
they're not.
brightly
Yeah, I
colored.
mean,
yeah,
brightly colored liquid, but they've really forgotten all about reminding you, what the drink is.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
And-
once you've established it, it's
Yeah. I'm not dissing
they-
it.
and they
I'm just
do-
saying
they
that's what
do
the
mention-
movie does.
They do mention that when they go in with all the axes and destroy all the barrels and stuff,
Mhm.
they're like, not the whole sarsaparilla batch. They're like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's
Yep.
it's.
Does anyone younger than us know what sarsaparilla
I
is?
don't
Yeah.
think so.
If you don't know what sarsaparilla is, I'll just tell you real quick that it is a non or like just very, very partially alcoholic beverage that
It's root beer.
Yeah,
It's root beer.
Yeah,
the
man.
companies
it's,
would
it's
make.
technically different.
Yeah,
No, I mean, I'm not saying the recipe is the same, but it is a
No.
beer made from roots.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
it
Like
is
that's
very
right.
similar to what you would think of as root beer, though. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I
that was
like-
like that was something they were doing during the Prohibition era, and
One of one of the science classes that my sisters took in high school, like all three of them, one of the science experience was that they made root beer
Mhm.
in class.
Whoa.
Oh,
Nice. Back when you could get sassafras legally.
Yeah.
Miller
protected now.
Miller High Life was also produced all throughout Prohibition, and it was just not an alcoholic beverage for many
So you could
years.
get all of the great taste of Miller without the
Yes.
alcohol.
That's right. Exactly right.
Mm.
Would you like a sarsaparilla or a high life that doesn't have alcohol? Like, I don't know. I would like a fucking time machine.
I would like this prohibition.
I would very much like to get out of here.
Man, you know what's awesome? Is Sam Elliott saying sarsaparilla in The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah.
I love hearing Sam Elliott say sarsaparilla.
And it combined with that mustache.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of
What a moment.
unintentionally sensual, yeah.
And now, like, because all of Fat Sam's men have been creamed, they have disappeared after, gun incidents. They got a cream bath.
Wow.
They're going to
again.
They're going to the they're going to the public soup kitchen to
and we get a song about being poor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And how they just kind of accept being poor and they don't really want to be talked into they don't want to be recruited for crime.
For organized crime.
Hoodlinism.
Yeah.
They never call it crime. They always just refer to it as being a hoodlum or doing this and that. They like the terminology they use, they never really get too adult. They
Right,
certainly
and
never
baby
say
face.
gangster. Yeah.
It's a cute gag.
Did enjoy that moment.
Yeah. A great touch with the sports padding and stuff for the guards.
Yeah, that made me laugh. I thought those guys looked funny.
Yeah.
And it's a
Agreed.
cute scene that this one kid all by himself runs up and hits him.
Yeah, the littlest kid.
The littlest kid runs up and hits him and then runs away and they chase him into this building and then the kid runs out and they close the doors at both ends and lock him up in the building so that they can
Oh, there's Odd Job.
yeah, continue to do hoodlum stuff and cream their friends.
Wow.
I think this finale is pretty something.
It's a mess.
Yeah, they probably had a blast.
Oh, it must have been so much fun.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of is Dr. Strangelove, which was supposed to end with the pie fight, and they had an issue like because of where they were shooting the pie fight. The air was just like full of ionized whipped cream, and you couldn't shoot anything. It was like just a mist.
Ew.
Yeah, and they ended it a different way instead of shooting another pie fight. But during this pie fight, you see all that cloud and stuff. I was just wondering if shooting flour, because that's what they're doing. They're shooting flour
Yeah.
is to dampen down all the whipped cream so that you don't get that, fucked up mist effect or something. I don't know.
I don't know the science behind it, but inhaling flour dust for a few hours isn't the greatest thing for you either.
Nope. They're both bad. Sorry, kids. You should not have been in this movie.
This is the one song I love in this movie. I like this finale song a lot. It's been stuck in my head all day.
See, there was a slide where, those shorts are too short. I'm sorry if I sound like a prude, but they are.
They're dance costumes. I don't know. I don't see it. I just.
Well, Adam, you get up in front of hundreds of people in these little baby short shorts.
With half your butt
And-
hanging out.
I'm pretty sure he
praise
has.
around and let me know how you feel. Like it's not good.
I mean,
No.
what makes you think that I haven't?
Fair point. Fair point.
I have to tell you some stories about my coascostumes.
Can
Do that when you're like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to be like a stick in the mud either. But that is, I think it's just part of a much larger issue with
Well,
dance lesson culture.
Yeah, it is. It's like that, watching some
I
pageant
don't
with little
like
girls.
child
Yes,
pageants.
yes,
I don't
exactly.
like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's it feels so innocent to me. Like it really doesn't feel like there's a bad bone in this film's body. The one song
No.
she sings is inappropriate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very.
That's the only problem I have in this.
But
It
again,
definitely comes from innocent intentions. Like there is no
I
like,
think so too.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
agree.
I don't think it comes with any kind of ill intent.
No.
And again,
I mean,
I
I
felt
needed
like
a
I was
shower after
watching.
Firestarter. Like that
Yeah.
was so icky.
Mhm.
So icky.
But again,
See-
I watched my 8-year-old nephew in a kid's version of Guys and Dolls. This is what
Mhm.
it felt like watching.
yeah,
Yeah, it really had like this High School Musical quality to it.
very much so.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I wonder if there has been a high school adaptation, like musical adaptation. of this or
in
something,
That'd be
you know?
sick.
like in the United Kingdom, it's like
Mhm.
the #1 High School Musical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's done all the time.
And I'm shocked to hear that. I really, I
Well,
can see it. I get
Alan
it.
Parker created a stage version for it,
Mhm.
and he's pretty. He was pretty prickly about productions that were used. He didn't always give out permission for it.
Mhm.
So
Didn't you say that you found some stuff about how he tried to distance himself from this movie after
he
it
did.
came out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he started
He would
doing
not
much.
put it
Yeah.
on his resume. Yeah,
Yeah, he tried to
early
distance
on.
himself early on from it.
Did he give a reason for it, or did you find anything about it?
Just mostly because he was doing a lot darker things. He was doing Angel Heart. I
Right.
mean, he moved on to Angel Heart
Speaking of
and
icky, yeah,
Midnight Express.
and Midnight Express, and he
Hey,
didn't want to
is
be known as a kids director.
is Angel Heart good? I've never seen it.
it's intense.
It's
Hmm.
It's
It's got
intense.
Robert De Niro, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, as
Okay.
the devil, and what's her name?
Mickey Rourke and
I can't remember the
Lisa
actor.
Bonet.
Lisa Bonet, underage is AF.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Ooh.
And
it was the movie
pretty
that she
slutty.
got fired from the Cosby Show.
Yeah, sweet irony.
Yeah, look, let's rewind that for a second.
Yeah,
So
Boy,
so
that's a lot to unpack there.
after this movie and hearing that, like, I'm like, somebody check Mr. Parker's hard drive, but actually he's passed. So
oh, you
Yeah,
left.
he's no longer with us.
he died in
And
2020, I think.
yeah, so leave his hard drive alone. And
Quite a legacy.
Oh God, so many good movies. The
Mhm.
Wall.
yeah, he did The
Mhm.
Wall.
I
you know.
love that movie.
What? Pink Floyd's The Wall?
Yeah, he
Pink
did
Floyd,
Pink
The
Floyd's
Wall.
The Wall.
Oh, wow.
An
Yeah,
Alan
there's some
Parker joint.
there's some very good films in his repertoire, and and he was knighted. I mean, we're talking about Sir Alan Parker.
And then totally flipped the script on him later. Did you ever see The Commitments?
Oh, I did
did.
enjoy The Commitments.
I
Yes,
did when
I
it was
did.
A
relatively
movie with
new, like
adults.
from the
Yeah.
rental store. I saw The Commitments. Yeah, I remember renting that
Yeah, I remember
on,
renting
on
that
video,
too. Mhm.
on videotape.
I
Well,
was so excited about it when I heard about it. I saw that in the theater.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
did you like it?
I did.
Mhm.
I loved it. Had the soundtrack.
Would you say you're an Alan Parker fan?
Like he's not my favorite director. I can't say I've seen or love everything he did, but a whole lot of it.
He
Yeah.
clearly knows his craft.
A whole lot of it. Yeah, and I wouldn't criticize anything he made. It might not always be for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to vote. We're gonna start with Adam. We got to vote about this movie. Adam, who did have a vague memory of this film.
Yeah, go ahead, load up your splurge guns, guys.
Uh-huh.
I love.
Oh boy.
I love it. I am famous for not tolerating children. Famous. And I loved rewatching it. I
Yeah.
was super impressed with all the art direction.
Mhm.
It's got some clunky parts. It's not a perfect film by any shot, but I really had a great time, and I'm kind of surprised I hadn't watched this again sooner. So yeah, when I was a kid, I thought it was cool and I thought it was funny, and then it just faded away. Went on to do other things, but I had a great time, and a great time showing it to Barbara.
Hmm.
So maybe if I'm in the minority, maybe, but I didn't feel any cringe
Mm.
about any ethical things that went on,
Mm-hmm.
except for that one song. That was out of
Right.
whack for me. But I don't have a problem with anything else. It's such a kid's fantasy that when kids watch this, they're not going to have those thoughts. I don't
Mhm.
think, unless you're already, Fat Sam or something. But
This is a movie for the Fat Sams of the world.
yeah, maybe keep it away from the Fat Sams of the world. 2 thumbs up. Would recommend
Mhm.
if you saw it as a kid. You won't be disappointed because it is what you remember and maybe a little more. If you haven't seen it before, give it a watch. Unless there's certain things that might upset you. But I didn't find any of it ill-intentioned or exploitative, any more so than any other child acting.
Mhm.
So 2
Right.
thumbs up
Yeah.
from me.
Gotcha. So it's maybe not that it isn't exploitive. It's just no more exploitive than say.
Certainly not than any other child actors or any other kids movie.
Yeah.
We've all heard horrible things coming out of Hollywood,
That's
especially
right.
recently. But
That's what you talking about, Willis.
yeah, I am Willis.
Yeah.
I am what Willis was talking about. Yeah,
That'd be a great T-shirt. I am what Willis was talking about.
yeah. I had a great time. Just being honest, and again, I'm not a fan of children. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Gotcha. Okay, Barbara.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see this movie, and I mean, I knew of it. I knew what it was about, and that it was a kids gangster movie.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it was a perfectly enjoyable little film to watch. I didn't get super grossed out by uh, any kind of exploitative things for the kids. Like I said, I had an 8-year-old nephew who got cast in a kid's version of Guys and Dolls, and that's exactly what it felt like afterwards.
Mhm.
And so I was fine with it, and I think it's a charming little film. The art direction is fantastic. There's performances in it that are stellar. Fat Sam was amazing, and Dandy Dan was also really amazing. I mean, that kid had weight. I'm so sorry that his life did not turn out the way he had hoped, and he
Mhm.
ended it far too soon, but he was really good. And Jodie Foster is amazing.
She's amazing at this.
She
So
you probably read a little bit about this, but after like doing Taxi Driver and working with Martin
Mhm.
Scorsese, who she was like her hero,
Mhm.
and she's like hanging out with and learning from an actual teenaged prostitute that
Mhm.
they hired to hang out with Jodie Foster and for her to learn from. And she goes from those experiences to this movie, something that going into it she didn't exactly was feeling real wild about. And then they immediately bleached her actual hair, like
Mhm.
fucked
Oh,
up
yeah.
her actual hair, and
Yeah.
also plucked her eyebrows. No one had
Mhm.
ever plucked her eyebrow. 12-year-old kid.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden she's getting her eyebrows plucked, and like
Yeah.
it's like again, like not trying to shame this movie because of
No.
that, but just like it's kind of funny that you're
She
doing
was
this movie
also
Taxi Driver, and
right.
then you go to Bugsy Malone and they're like, oh whoops, we're fucking yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's
She
where you cry, because it did make
yeah.
her cry. She cried,
Yeah.
and I would
She
too,
cried
because
about it, and
Oh,
it
she
would
was
hurt.
she was a little freaked out. She said that
Mhm.
the British crew and cast actually scared the hell out of her because
Mhm.
yeah, they're kind of
um
mean to her.
well, the older chorus girl dancers were
Mhm.
very, very mean to the British ones, were very, very mean to the American ones, and would
Mhm.
block their paths in the hallways, and and be like, oh yeah, you can't pass without the password, and then they, you know, blast fire extinguishers at them, and yeah, it scared the crap out of her. So
Fucking kids.
yeah, going from a really
this is why kids are terrible.
ultra professional set with Martin Scorsese to this was probably a horrible filming experience.
So a typical day in high school.
Yeah, but but again, she's riveting. You don't take your eyes off of her.
She's the best
ever. She's she's amazing.
She did wind up having fun,
Yeah.
Both she and Alan Parker said that in interviews, is that she wound up really enjoying herself, and that she would have technical conversations with people,
the lighting crew and
stuff.
And
and he was like, yeah, she could direct this thing for a day if I felt sick.
She was incredibly set savvy for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And but again, she's at this point in her career, she's already been working as an actress since she was 2. So the fact that she is so, composed as a 12-year-old doesn't surprise me.
Are her parents actors?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got. Let's see where our next thumb goes. Gravy.
Oh yeah.
Gravy. Direct that thumb, Gravy.
So there are some things in this movie that I didn't enjoy very much. There was I did check the time a couple times. All right, so there's a little bit of the one trick pony to it, but overall it's very charming. It's extremely well made. I mean, it's a little, like Adam said, it's a little clunky with some of the song and dance numbers, which overall I could have done without entirely. I did not like the dubbed music numbers, and they were the shoddiest parts of the film, but overall it's very charming. I laughed a lot. It kind of ran the whole gamut. I was entertained. I was a little bored at times. I didn't like the lead couple as much as anywhere near as much as literally everybody else in the film.
Agreed.
And so that kind of stuff.
I would agree with that too.
But I would say,
so you didn't like Scott Baio?
No.
Huh.
Didn't like Scott Baio. Didn't like his girlfriend. Thought they were really uncompelling.
I thought for the most part he had pretty good flow.
I don't care what you think.
That's fair.
You want my vote?
That's why you're here.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
a little salty. I'm a salty dog tonight.
That's okay. We're all very sad about David Lynch's passing.
Yeah, I'm totally in mourning.
Which did happen, in between our Total Recall episodes. So
rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, true artist.
Mm-hmm. And he definitely barked at people on stage. Just like
we had a whole montage of him barking at people on stage.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, just swearing his brains out. Bless his heart.
God damn it.
What's that?
What's that fucking noise?
Irritating, isn't it?
What is it with everyone today? Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. All right. Well, anyway, go ahead. Please vote.
Well, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm still living down the thumbs up on Caveman. So,
No.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
So, no, but the set design, the photography, the lighting, I mean, there's so much good. I would say that if you watch this when you were a kid and you revisit it, you would still probably enjoy it plenty. And, it's kind of a interesting one-off. So
Yeah, you can't overstate the uniqueness of this film. Of
Yeah.
course, it couldn't get made today. Of course not.
yeah. So
But-
so yeah, I give it a thumbs up. You know, with some like a few yawns
Mhm.
along with, but yeah.
Okay. A yawny thumbs up.
Yep.
All right. Jess, are you ready to vote? Have you figured out how you feel?
I think I'm prepared.
Oh, yeah? What do we got?
I am obviously going to give this like 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
I loved it as a kid, and I had so much fun rewatching it especially because I kind of forgot about it. I think it's funny people describing it as charming because I literally just think it's deranged, and I
Yeah.
love it for that. And yeah, like the production quality is insane for a kids movie. And I saw this after The Little Rascals, so I
Mhm.
remember watching this and being like, oh my god, it's like The Little Rascals. And so I totally did dig the child fantasy type of lens as a kid, and rewatching this brought that back for me.
So you
And I just remember like how much fun it looked like watching it.
so you kind of feel like Little Rascals is a 20-year later update of Bugsy Malone.
I haven't seen Little Rascals in a long time, so I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just remember thinking like, oh, it's like Little Rascals
Yeah,
because of the little kids just running the show.
yeah. Just kids.
with guns.
With
Just-
guns. But like, and then I agree. It just felt very like, it didn't feel like there was ill intentions. It just felt very innocent and just silly.
Mhm. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so a yes
yeah.
from Jess.
Oh
we
yeah.
got a yes. We got another yes. And all right. Let's get to Bugs of Pumpkinhead.
Hey, is my mic on?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
sound great.
you hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, we
good,
can
good,
hear you.
good. I don't know
It's
what happened.
Bugs of Pumpkinhead.
The cat was playing with the cord and I had
Yeah.
chaos.
Oh, blame it on the
but-
cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
Well,
a
it was her
wildly
fault.
mischievous cat. I mean,
Hooray.
yeah.
Yeah.
Teeny,
Wow.
teeny.
I wouldn't know anything about one of those.
Yeah.
This was actually, it was Newt this time.
Oh, okay.
She still has her mischievous moments.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with the unpopular opinion.
Mhm.
There were so many like fun, neat, enjoyable things about this movie. I don't argue with any of the points y'all have made. I just found there were enough things that made it overall an unenjoyable experience. Not just the costumes, but like the adult singing absolutely did not work for me. And every time a song came on, it was like, I'm struggling to like this. I
Mhm.
want to like this, but I just can't. It's awful. There was some lagging. Like when they introduced the boxer character, I just was like, oh my God, this movie is an hour and a half. How is it turning like it was just not, it just wasn't like fun and whimsical. Like I feel like it should be, and it was for so many people. But it wasn't for me. So
And that's
think-
okay.
yeah.
No, I that's totally fine, and I can get, I get it. Like I said, we watched this movie with wondering, am I going to feel weird about this?
Yeah. When are you gonna hit that
Yeah,
moment?
yeah. What am I going to feel? Oh, well,
kinda
this
waiting
feels
for
very
that.
intentional. Oh,
Yeah,
and
that-
it just
Yeah.
never, it never
Songs
got
up.
there. It never really got there for me.
And I'm that's good. I'm
Yeah.
thankful for that. I'm thankful that of all the movies that I've skipped, Firestarter was the one I was out of town for. Like, okay, good.
Good. Yes.
Um,
In hindsight,
and-
it's real icky.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
I've heard about it plenty. So might need to take that off the We Love shelf and just let it fade back into the VHS room. But yeah, I feel like there is so much love out in the world for this movie. I was astounded by the response on Letterboxd. Like, people are just over the moon for it. So I think that if you're drawn to it, you're going to be drawn to it. I was not, and I'll just note that for the record, and we can all still be friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
of
of
course,
Totally.
absolutely.
Yes, of course.
I agree with you to a good chunk there, Pumpkinhead. I was a little unsure as to how I was going to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, I would watch a movie that was just Fat Sam.
yeah.
Ah,
Maybe Fat Sam and Tallulah.
Yeah.
No
Fat
singing.
Sam Chronicles. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. A movie about his rise to the top.
Yes.
How did
I
Fat
would still
Sam
watch that.
get where he got to? But yeah, well, you're not the only thumbs down.
I'm gonna bet there was a lot of pie.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They went through which again, like I said, I imagine is like knives. The pies are like knives.
No, I mean he
And
ate a
this
lot
is
of
the
pie to
age
get
of-
fat.
Oh yes, that too. Yeah. I have a hard time not eating the ammo.
You got to
know.
be fat if you're gonna be Fat Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
Yeah.
it's super ironic and you're like Tiny Tim, but they call you Fat Sam.
It's like the start of the Weird Al video. You ain't fat. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing.
Ding dong, man. Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Hey man,
Ding
Big
dong
dog.
yo.
Yeah. But
You
yeah,
ding, huh?
I've got to say that like this movie creeped me out and I didn't really laugh a whole lot. It's weird for me to be like, this movie, like I said, kids are shooting other kids in the face, like they're getting like slaughtered. But I still didn't really like it very much. That's weird, like normally that's an easy sell for me. Like any violence, but kids doing violence to other kids, that's yeah. Anyway. But I just didn't think it was very funny at any time, and sometimes it was a real test of my patience. I don't dislike Paul Williams. In fact, several of the songs, including the boxing song, I really, enjoyed. But
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What would 12-year-old or 10-year-old you think of this?
I think that if I had seen this when I was a kid, I would have liked it, because I loved old school cars. I was obsessed with Tommy guns. I really was.
Okay.
Like I thought Tommy guns were so cool and
Sure, we all did.
My generation, like you got to have like gun colored guns and like so did your toys,
Yep.
and like your toys got to have guns and bullets that looked like guns and bullets and stuff,
I got my first gun when I was 10.
yeah, but I, it's still really weird to see them like with kids with anyway. I think if you'd never seen this movie before, and you like a spectacle film, then you can go for it. Some of these Paul Williams songs are so difficult to sit through. And yeah, the Tallulah song's really creepy. I thought everything in the burlesque place was creepy. I just thought the whole thing, a lot of those outfits were just like, too directed towards accentuated, female form on, kids that are like 16 and like I just didn't like it. But and that's what I would caution against someone who loved this as a kid. Like, it's not that good of a movie, and it's often pretty creepy, like I don't think you should watch it. That would be my advice. But if you've never seen it and you're like, for the same reason you had to check out a Serbian film, you just have to see like, what the hell the hubbub is, like, yeah, go ahead, watch it. But I really did not actually like it. Like, it just could not get with it. It is unhinged. I completely agree with Jess that like I don't think it meant to be crazy. I certainly don't think it meant to be offensive at all. The whole genesis of this is like a story that Alan Parker was making up with his 3 kids on road trips.
Yeah.
That's fucking adorable.
Mhm.
And I don't, I'm not
Yeah,
mad
and I
at
think
it
it was
for
his oldest son was like 12, and he's like, "You should cast kids.
yeah,
Should make
yeah.
it." Yeah.
I'm not mad at it for being creepy, and I certainly don't think any of that is intentional. It's just, I just also could not. It is not, I couldn't just not see that way, I guess. But and I feel like if you love this movie as a kid, there is a chance that you will find that creepy as well. And that might sully the memory. That's just my opinion, though. I give it a thumbs down. All right, Wizard.
I gotta say, all points are valid. It did
Uh-huh.
not hit me that way
Mhm.
as somebody who liked it as a kid. I
Yeah.
still enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I loved it and it was amazing because it does have a couple of places where I picked up the phone.
Yeah.
What's going on? The Tallulah song.
Mhm.
Take the creep factor out of that one.
Mhm.
I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
That song on multiple levels did not hit for me. But there was enough of the other stuff that it was an enjoyable watch. I had a good time. I definitely don't regret it.
Mhm.
So no, I think it is worth a rewatch if you really liked it as a kid. I do think you should listen to those disclaimers from the
Yeah.
other folks because if you think that could be a possibility of it could hit you that way, then by all means don't let it. You
Mhm.
shouldn't expose yourself to that sort of thing. It didn't come off as creepy to me, but I didn't have the background
Mhm.
that some people have.
Yeah.
And that's got to be factored in. We all come to these things from quite different places, and you got to respect your boundaries.
Mhm.
I think that's totally fair. I enjoyed it. Kids in pedal cars was an easy sell for me. Kids pretending to be gangsters was an easy sell for me. But I like
I
Meet the Feebles.
yeah. Yeah. I like Meet the Feebles. I don't, have childhood memories of it. I probably
No, I didn't see that one till I was an adult.
That's
I turned out
probably
A
best.
good thing, yeah.
yeah.
And you should not see Meet the Feebles as a
No.
child.
No,
be
I turned
fair.
out bent enough, like that would not have helped.
I don't think a Serbian film is good for kids either.
No, let's make
It
that
depends on
clear.
the kids.
I wasn't suggesting that it's a double feature with Bugsy Malone,
My
like,
favorite
at all.
babysitting movie is Bone Tomahawk. I like to expose kids to that for the first time.
I say you take
Cannibalism is fine.
you take
Oh, go ahead.
take a 12-year-old kid, set him down, put on a racer head,
Uh-huh.
and that's going to prepare them
That's about when I saw it.
for everything
Yeah. I
moving forward.
I'd love that you brought that up because I was talking to Laszlo today about the first time we watched Eraserhead together. And he said he thought he was 12. And I was like, were you that young? I was like, immediately felt like kind of a shit dad.
Mhm.
He's like, no, but I love that movie. And I'm like, well, then it's okay then because it is a great
Yeah.
movie.
No, I'm totally being serious. There's nothing in that movie I wouldn't show to a 12-year-old kid. I think it's good to kind of break their brain at that point and go, look, the world's fucked up. Be ready.
Mhm.
You're not going to have a good time out there.
But you can be comforted by the fact that in heaven, everything is fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I watch that movie once a year.
That's
I
a
think
good one.
that's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
You watch Eraserhead every year?
Yeah, I do.
It's a
I
good
love
once
it.
a year movie.
I fucking
Wow.
love it.
Wow.
I need to watch it more often.
I've
I've actually only seen it a few times.
so very
Yeah.
much.
Man-made they are. Damnedest things.
I could tell you an Eraserhead story, but we don't have time, and I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I
All right.
broke a bunch of college kids.
Okay. Well, the
Bravo.
official story, the official story here on Total Recall is that you should revisit it. That it is a film you should watch and that you will enjoy. Even though I personally disagree, I did not enjoy it, myself. So
Yeah, I think what Mick said earlier is really appropriate and true. We all have different tastes and different life experiences. This is not a show about being right or having an opinion that is better than anybody else. We're all fairly experienced people, and not everybody's going to like the same things. So that's totally fine.
Yeah, it would be boring if we did.
Yes, it
Yeah, and I think we have healthy discussions on this show, which is why I keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I do have one more gripe if we have time for one more gripe about the movie.
Yes, please.
And I think y'all will really be on board with this one. So in the very beginning, the kid who like sweeps the floors has this big song about how he's born to be a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I feel like is teeing us up for this like great solo dance number. There are ample opportunities for this in the rest of the
That
film,
doesn't happen.
and it never delivers.
I know
That
I
is
was
a
mad for
very
that
fair.
kid.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with
That
you
kid-
100% on that. Yeah.
Good
That
call.
kid should have had his tap dance moment.
He should have.
He had shoes and everything.
They
He was
probably cut
ready.
it.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm
They
gonna
probably
bet
cut it.
Oh, I bet you're
he
right.
probably couldn't really tap dance.
Probably
Also-
not.
Oh.
Also,
Why is this a problem?
Yeah.
I wish they ran him over with a pedal car.
And broke his legs. And they go,
Yeah.
You'll
Never dance again, kid.
No.
Wow.
That might have gotten a PG in 1976.
Oh, I love it.
And then
Head
the Lucas
cannon.
group fell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bugsy Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Well,
Head
Now I like Scott Baio.
I don't.
Well, that makes
Never.
one of us.
I have
never liked
never
him.
liked Scott Baio.
Yeah.
No.
Me neither.
I mean, and I agree with everything everyone has said about the sets, the props, the pedal cars. The pedal cars are so beautiful. Like totally jealous of that. And yeah, I think 10-year-old me would have really liked this, like I think that would have, super chimed in. Yeah, they shot this movie the summer I was born. So
Oh wow.
yeah. I'm as old as this footage.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
who?
crap.
Ooh.
I think it's Barbara's turn now, right? Because
I think we are consecutive. Yeah.
yeah,
Yay.
because I think Gravy is
All right.
gone.
Well, I got a list. Hang on.
Yeah. All right.
Barbara.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Pick 3.
I'm going to throw a few out here for you. And these are movies that I genuinely loved the first time I saw them in the theater. Now, I wasn't a kid when I saw them in the theater. I was late teens, early 20s.
Good enough.
So, but I also have not watched them since.
And you're
So-
what, 29 now?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. I recently celebrated my 36th annual 30th
So-
birthday party.
So we're going to be watching.
Um,
So it's going to be Supernatural, or I mean, what?
so my choices are Soap Dish,
Oh, that's an obscure one.
Yeah.
which
I do remember. I
is
do
the
know that.
same-
title.
I know that one. Yeah.
it's the same director and same star as Steel Magnolias. Same
That's
director.
right. That's right. We
Um,
talked about that during that
and-
episode.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
this cast. It's very
Um,
exciting.
Isn't Carrie Fisher in that?
Yes, she
Yes,
is.
she is.
Mhm.
We love
And
Carrie.
she has one of my favorite lines in that movie too. It's an all-star cast. Robert Downey
Mhm.
Jr.,
I think she
Carrie
punched up the
Fisher.
script on it as well.
Probably.
Yeah, well, that was she got quite a lot of pull when she agreed to do that movie because she had already decided she would never work with that director again.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
91, and I've never seen it.
So
I
he
have
had
good
to.
memories.
He had to give her a lot of leeway.
Oh no,
Yeah.
guys, we
Yeah.
we have Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if
Okay,
boy.
Whoopi Goldberg is in it. I will. Yes, she is in it, but it's.
Oh
it
my
also-
god!
That's not
Okay,
a red
but
line for me.
But this is
This
Yeah,
just
is-
the
me
first
either.
choice. Hang on, let's not get too excited.
Okay.
Barbara?
I was
My-
just gonna say I wasn't warned ahead of time, and I do not have the Whoopi siren fired up. So please,
the Whoopi
Uh,
cannons are not armed.
please just accept that we are currently under
Whoopi warning.
the blue level of
Blue Whoopi. All right.
blue. We're under blue Whoopi right now.
What else you got, Babs?
Okay, my second is my second choice is you know what, I'm going to take that off. I was going to say Lucas, but we've already done kids. I'm not going to do another kid movie.
I do like. I mean, I remember like that's
Yeah.
definitely something I have not
So-
revisited either. Yeah, that's.
I will go with my second choice is My Favorite Year,
Wow.
which is a Mel Brooks production
Mhm.
based upon his career starting off writing the Sid Caesar show.
Sid Caesar?
Sid Caesar show.
I think I saw them open up for the Dead Kennedys.
Okay.
Mhm. They were great.
And
It's a great band name.
it's
It
also
Really
would be,
is.
and it also has Peter O'Toole in it.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to. I was like, man, it's a British actor. Who
Mhm.
is it? Who is it?
And he's
that you
he's
guy in
really
there?
great
Yeah.
too.
So he is
But again-
portraying
Harper's
that
on
is Peter O'Toole portraying
Mhm.
Mel Brooks.
No. He's
Oh.
he actually plays this sort of larger than life movie star character. He's sort of an Errol Flynn type character.
Himself.
Yeah.
There is no
Yeah.
doubt that Jeff and I have watched this movie. Yeah,
Um,
there no doubt we've watched this on HBO.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure we
recognize
have.
it? You
I don't
recognize
want to.
it?
I don't want to shoot it down, but I
Uh-huh.
do want to remind Barbara that we watched it a couple years ago together.
we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
I
trying
didn't
to shoot
realize.
it down,
Okay.
but yeah,
No, that's fine. I didn't remember that part. Okay. And then my third movie is The Fabulous Baker Boys.
Oh yeah.
never seen it.
Yeah. Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, Bo Bridges, and
Bo
Michelle
Bridges.
Pfeiffer.
Mhm.
It's been a long time.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
I
Mhm.
remember when that movie came out, but I
So
never saw
two
it.
comedies and a drama.
Sorry, what was the first one again?
Soap Dish.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Soap Dish, My Favorite Year, or The Fabulous Baker Boys. Two comedies and a
Jennifer
drama.
Tilly's in it.
Yes.
Wait, you
Ooh.
She has a
You don't
very
think
small part, but yes, she's
Fabulous Baker Boys is a comedy?
She doesn't have any small
in it.
parts.
It has comedic moments, but it's not. I don't want to say it's a straight up comedy. There's comedic
Okay.
moments in it. There's musical moments in it.
Google says it's a romance comedy.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Or
I remember
sorry,
it was-
romance musical. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
Romance musical.
Yeah.
I remember it being. Oh, Lord. my
I'm seeing a lot of
computer just-
pictures of Michelle Pfeiffer on a piano.
Yes.
So
Boy.
sign me up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happens.
There's not very many movies that star both Bo and Jeff Bridges.
Mhm.
It did not happen very often.
I will go with number
That's
one
not
or
happening
number
very often.
3. I can already tell
Same.
you my vote on the second one.
Okay.
I could be into any of them, honestly.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by all of them. I'm kind of leaning choice number 1. It just seems like kind of wacky and fun.
It does look pretty
Um,
wacky.
Yeah.
It's about a soap opera.
I have
Yeah.
fonder memories of Soap Dish.
Yeah.
than I do the Baker Boys. But I am intrigued by watching the Baker Boys again because A, you do have the brother performance. It's pretty rare. Uh,
Oh, Sally Field's the lead and so.
and,
Mhm.
and,
I
and
thought
a
it was very
revisit
Yeah.
of something that I
So
was kind
Sally
of
Field, Kevin
meh
Kline,
about.
Whoopi Goldberg, Carrie Fisher, Robert Downey Jr., Kathy Moriarty,
Elizabeth
Gary
Shue.
Marshall, Elizabeth Shue.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's an all-star cast, believe me. And I remember laughing hysterically in the theater when this happened, and I've
Wow.
never watched it since.
Yeah, I
Really?
remember it being very, very funny.
It went over like a
For
lead
sure.
balloon at the box office, though, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
this
don't
is-
think it did
yeah,
very well.
Yeah, the ratings aren't that great, but they're not bad.
yeah. Well,
6.6, 74, 65%.
I was really leaning towards my favorite year because, like, I have just the vaguest recollection of it, but Gravy is assuring me that it was a cable movie, so that probably means I watched it over and over, and it's probably there's some latent stuff floating around in there that I could reconnect with. But Soap Dish is also very intriguing, and it sounds like a lot of people are leaning towards that. And I would totally dig doing Soap Dish. You know, that's like a time capsule movie right there as far
Yeah.
as talent. You know, like
Yeah.
they took a lot of talent, and it's just like, you know, this is where everybody was at that time.
Yeah,
So-
I'm up for one or the other. Baker Boys sounds interesting to me. I'm
Mhm.
surprised I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen Baker Boys, and I would definitely watch it. It's one of 3 films that Jeff Bridges wears the baseball T-shirt of the popular player from Japan. What's like from the 50s?
Oh, I forget.
Yeah, but yeah, he wears it as the dude, and he wears it in the Fabulous Baker Boys, and he
Mm.
wears it in Turk 182.
Oh no, we're not watching that.
We're not watching Turk 182.
Not while I'm still alive. No, that movie's terrible.
It's on my list.
Oh, I mean, it's great. It's great. I don't ever want to offend anyone. No,
I mean,
I'm
when I
excited.
was a kid, I thought Turk 182 was great. When I was a kid, I thought Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
You
was
want to
good.
talk about
Yeah.
problematic movies?
That
Uh-huh.
is no joke right there. That is a very
Old
uncomfortable
Bay
movie
as
to watch.
Kung
Yeah,
Fu Master? Come on.
yeah, that's
No.
awful. It's very
No.
offensive,
It
even
really-
by 80s standards. It's like, oh, come on.
It is a very hard revisit. I've done it, and yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's a very hard revisit.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, how are we going to split this vote?
I'm going Soap
Okay.
Dish.
I think I'm going to go Soap Dish too.
I'm going Soap Dish. I've always been curious to see it.
All right, then I'll go too.
All right.
Any objections?
Jess?
Anyone disappointed?
I truly would be down for any of those movies, so I'm down with
Yeah.
Soap Dish.
Yeah. Soap
So-
Dish.
We have a nominee.
Soap
Booyah.
Dish.
All right.
Soap Dish. Sunday, Soap Dish.
Hang on, let me write this down before I forget it. Or
I'm excited
Yeah.
about this. I mean, how could you not want to see that cast? I mean, Whoopi Goldberg aside.
Yeah,
Um,
Whoopi Goldberg applied, and she's. I mean, I don't know how I will feel about it watching it again, but I do remember at the time she wasn't that bad. She
I
wasn't
mean,
a
young
business
Robert
or-
Downey is pretty
Yes.
easy on the eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's I do remember. I don't know why it stuck with me all of these years, but there's a scene in the movie where Gary Marshall is talking to the other producers and Robert Downey Jr. of the soap opera, and he's talking about this big, wave machine thing that comes in to announce the soap opera, right? Like the big hourglass for Days of Our Lives, it's that kind of thing. And he says, we have this huge wave machine that cost a fortune. It was expensive and it's depressing. 2 words I hate. You know what words I like? I like the words peppy and the words cheap. Peppy and cheap. And that made me laugh so hard.
I'm down.
Yeah, sounds good.
Poisonally. Okay. Soap dish it is.
Soap dish, y'all.
Hooray.
So that
Oh
Yay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
that is going to be Wednesday the 19th. As
Oh,
long as,
shoot.
oh, it's not going to be Wednesday the 19th.
No. I have a late entry
Oh,
that may
okay.
skew everything.
We aren't honored to be here. We are honored to be.
I have a late entry.
All right, what you got?
My Bodyguard.
Oh yeah, My Bodyguard with
That's
And
no,
No, not
And
that
sticking-
bodyguard.
not that
No.
bodyguard.
no. My
Yeah.
Bodyguard is a whole other thing, my
with
friend.
with
It
Matt
has,
Dillon and Adam
Matt-
Baldwin.
And
Matt
it's on my
Dillon,
it's one I've been wanting to see. So you're right.
Okay.
That does skew.
Oh, Joan
Yeah,
Cusack too.
Fuck that. I want to see My Bodyguard.
John Cusack.
Joan.
Joe.
That's a
Joan
real
Cusack.
that's a
Joan
real
Cusack.
curveball to be throwing
tough
us.
guy.
I know. I was just going through my
Yeah.
list and I saw it and I went, "Ooh,
I
is
Well-
that the one?"
if
Well,
it's
Does
if it's on the
anybody else
table-
feel real strongly about changing their vote?
if it's on the table, because it's a late entry,
Uh-huh.
but I will absolutely vote for My Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Soap Dish is fine with me.
Yeah.
Any others?
Pumpkinhead, Jess, like, are you guys still
Soap
sticking
Dish
with
or-
Soap Dish or?
I all of them sound great. I haven't seen any of these movies, so I'm here for the ride.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
gotcha.
same.
Okay. Gosh, I do have, like, I don't remember anything about my favorite year, but I do remember My Bodyguard. Like,
I do remember.
Yeah, I definitely was an awkward
I
kid
don't know
in
if we
school for
want
the
to
most
do another
part. and-
do another kid movie so quickly,
Yeah.
but it's up to you.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
We could stick a pin in it. I mean,
Okay.
everyone seems up for it. But
Yeah.
I'm good with whatever. I've just got to go to bed.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you
All right.
what. Let's just stick with Soap Dish because it is adults, and we know that we have stuff like this.
I'm ready for some adults. Yeah,
Okay.
Let's do it.
you know I'm a
Soap
sucker for
Dish.
Martin Mull, but yeah,
Mhm. He's
Soap
never far
Dish.
away. He's never far away. Clue is still on the list.
Yeah, Clue is on my list. Clue is on my list as well.
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah. Okay,
Stoned into ambivalence.
So we're entering hour 3 of. No. All right. Well, I guess we can. Does anyone have anything coming up that they want to talk about? Anything online? Anything in person? Anything in the stratosphere?
Next
You wanna
week on
bring
Gear
up-
Wizard TV, we're gonna end our Cheech and Chong marathon. It feels with Still Smoking.
Yeah. Oh, what was the verdict on Things Are Tough All Over?
Better than I remembered.
Oh yeah.
It's got some issues. There's some problems.
Mhm,
It ain't up in smoke in so many ways.
mhm.
But overall, you know, if you're gonna do the Cheech and Chong marathon, put it in there.
Yeah.
It's a ride.
But
Rip
you're not-
Taylor makes that movie.
Rip Taylor's.
I will
awesome.
say that.
Yeah,
Rip Taylor
is
makes
awesome.
that movie. You get a good 10-15 minutes of just boom, 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 Rip Taylor that
Okay, yeah.
that wipes away a lot of sin.
Sponsored by cocaine.
So
love
much cocaine in that movie. Not like in the movie, but definitely.
I meant in Rip Taylor.
Yeah, in Rip Taylor too. The movie reeks of. We were doing a lot of cocaine when we did this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can see, you can definitely see the rise of cocaine in the Cheech and Chong stratosphere throughout. From Up in Smoke to next movie to Nice Dreams, where they meet Howie the hamburger.
This movie has
Sorry.
Yeah.
less cocaine,
Uh-huh.
but somehow reeks of more.
Just Just, all the coke was behind the camera this
Oh
time.
God, yes, and they were
Yeah.
high as fuck making this movie. So.
Yeah. See,
Hmm.
that makes me want to watch the Corsican Brothers too, because something tells me similar circumstances that even though they're making a PG rated movie, they are just fucked in the head.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna still smoking.
Yeah.
This next week, it should be fun.
Mhm.
My memories are not
What a
the best.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, please feel free to put the link in the chat there, so anyone can subscribe to Gear Wizard TV
It is youtube.com.
and learn about the
at
ongoing adventures.
Gear
I mean,
Wizard
after
TV.
that pitch, I'll
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Adam, do you have anything going on?
The
Anything you want to
usual
drop
stuff.
in the?
I'll try and get a link together here. I can
Yeah.
barely walk and chew gum.
Mhm.
Friday
Can
B-sides.
relate.
You've all heard about it. You've
Mhm.
all had read the rap sheets.
Mhm.
Half of this panel will be there, and
We
then,
sure
we
had
have
a lot of fun at the last. We got to get you. We got to get you on there, Gravy. You got to
Are
get
we-
on there, bub.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
all right. If it's not too late,
Your
for
your
you,
mic
it's-
is pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
you
it's
coming
definitely
in.
improved over the episodes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do. We have a special guest, Dark Hour, who you may know from Two Hose and many
Mhm.
other big timey shows with lots of followers.
Uh-huh.
And the movie we're watching is Blood on the Sun, starring James Cagney.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
And
sounds
I myself
exciting.
am not a Cagney fan, so I'm looking forward to tearing into him.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna get it.
Yeah, so that's Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific. And then
Mhm.
next week, Babs and I both are going to be on Roman of the Empire show. We're going to cover Minority Report.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that since I saw it in the theater, but I remember that I liked it, and I really liked Spielberg's, his team's universe building.
The world building
the
is
world building, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's
It's
really
Tom
cool looking.
Cruise, so you're thinking about Tom Cruise the entire movie. But
Yeah.
Peter,
Except when Mike von Sydow's around.
yeah, there's Max von Sydow and
He's in that.
turn,
Okay, yeah.
a great turn by Peter Stormare. So he's the best thing in the movie, in my opinion. So we're going to cover that together, I think.
Cool.
And then we'll be back to Total Recall on the 19th, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, please feel free to drop that link as well if you got
Let me
those
work on
available,
those.
and we'll share that. Gravy. I understand that you missed. Barbara, did you have anything else? Sorry,
No. I'm not sure if we're doing Tomby's show or not.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that
But,
might
yeah.
be on the 19th. We may
Yeah.
be doing a talk show. Don't you have a couple of you have the Grapes of Wrath coming up sometime?
Yeah, well, that's not until March. I'm going to be
Oh.
on Jacob Ironside's show, and I'm going to talk about Grapes of Wrath, and then I think later in March I'm going to be back on to talk about The Secret Garden. And these were both books and movies that I genuinely loved, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Awesome. You're going to revisit both before the show, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think I'll have time to reread Steinbeck, but I've read it so many times; it's kind of ingrained in me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those books that I've picked up and read over and over and over again over the course of my life. It's near and dear to my heart. So
awesome. Well, that sounds. I mean, it sounds like a great conversation. Definitely worth checking out.
Thank you.
Gravy, I understand you just recently missed out on seeing Frankenhooker for the first time in your childhood.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it was at
Very sorry.
Gateway. It was on Saturday.
Oh.
It was a 9:30 screening, and
Yeah.
I do wish I'd gone, but I was just so tired. I'm like working like 7 days a week right now, so
Yeah.
That is no hour to watch Frankenhooker.
Mhm.
I assume you mean AM.
no, it was PM.
Oh,
It's a totally appropriate time to go see
well, then
Frankenhooker. I'm
boo
sure.
on you for not going.
I
Because
know, I
that
know.
movie,
I know.
I just saw it for the first time this year. We watched it with Stupenzo, and I was blown away by how entertaining it is.
I watched the trailer because I saw it on the listing of like screenings that night, and I was like, "Holy crap, Frankenhooker!" And I was talking to somebody at work about it; they'd never even heard of it. We watched the trailer, and memories flooded back. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that
You
movie
looking
since
for
high
some
school.
action?
Yeah, it's
I was genuinely impressed and entertained by that movie.
Oh, Burb went and checked it out. That's wonderful.
good job. Chip off the
Yeah.
old block. Good job, boyo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go to
Jeffrey,
bed.
have
So
you found your perfect woman yet? All right.
Good night, Gravy.
Night,
Yeah.
Gravy.
yeah, good night, guys.
All
Next
right.
Have you on
time.
Good
B-side
night.
sometime.
Night.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to. That'd be great. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Thank you for joining us. Anybody else have anything they want to throw out there? We've got, if you're in the Austin area, please check out the welovevideo.org events page
Oh
as
yeah.
linked.
I'll go ahead and plug book club, piggyback off the book adaptations. Our book adaptations book club is great, and we're doing If Beale Street Could Talk this month.
Oh, wonderful. If you have a link, please put that in the chat there. We'll throw that out there. And
It's on the events link that Laura
outstanding.
or Bride of
Everyone.
Pumpkinhead
Yeah.
posted.
Sweet. Okay.
And some movies.
Yeah. I did remember one of my closing thoughts that I didn't bring up before, which was that I did find some of Paul Williams' affectations when he was singing for the black kids to be a little, like I didn't, seemed a little funky as well. Like I looked to try and find if it might have been someone other than Paul Williams, because I don't know. I didn't like the idea of him doing that. He's a good kid. Anyway,
he wanted him to be more desperate sounding, or what?
It just, like he kind of uses a slang that's, like a more like a little, just a tiny bit more broken English than, what the other kids are singing, and
get a little buckwheat inflection there.
Just yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it was like, I wish you hadn't done that, Paul. Like, but I'm not mad at him. It's just how the production came out. I mean,
I don't think I could keep a straight face if I was talking to Paul Williams. I would.
Do you know who you are?
I would
You're
just
real.
I would just get lost. Yeah.
And if he was in the apes makeup, forget it. I'd have to excuse myself.
Phantom of the Paradise changed my life, motherfucker.
Yeah, he did.
Good.
He did this movie right on the heels of Phantom of the Paradise, which was a failure.
That's the movie.
Yeah, I mean it's better remembered now, and thank goodness, because it's absolutely fantastic. But it was a box office failure, unfortunately. Well,
it changed my life. It had a huge impact on me.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody, and everyone in the chat. Thanks you guys for coming out and chatting it up. I really enjoyed talking about this movie once again, and I'm super looking forward to Soap Dish, which I bet a lot of people checked out at the time but haven't revisited. I bet that is.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of people out there who have that on the blip, but So yeah, join us, y'all.
Cool.
On the 19th. And good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Like like and subscribe. Please hit the